Sorry about
so,
that.
So, DG, sir, let's use the floor to you.
Yes.
Please.
Your mic.
Your mic. So, please, can we? I was thinking. Okay.
Let the DG. Go ahead.
Okay, for the last time. That before.
Thank you, Chairman.
Let me stand up so I can sit up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, the gentleman before us is a learned senior advocate, so we should draw from his wealth of knowledge. That's why we're actually asking. You also told us that there are conflicts between the action of the minister and the laws. Particularly, you said the law did not provide for some of these things like the panel of inquiry, and in fact that the suspension was also not provided for in the laws. I'm worried. If you say there is a conflict, it means there must be two things, right? For there to be a conflict, there must be two things. So you need to direct us to the areas of the law and the action where there are conflicts. If you say the law did not provide for that action, is there any express law that outlaws that action? If there is any, please draw attention to such areas. Thank you.
We're waiting for you. Or do we take this? Okay.
Thank you. Honorable members, I had in Mr. Gwazo had in his presentation articulated very clearly all the provisions of the law that apply to his appointment.
Okay.
And then the law is very clear that where there's an express mention on one thing, it exclusively of that thing. If the law says the DG can only be removed by recommendation of the Honorable Minister based on proof of guilt, of misconduct, or bankruptcy, and all that, and did not provide for suspension, did not provide for slapping of the gentleman or any other action, just for example, every other action that are not contained in that law is illegal. That's the position of the law, with the greatest respect.
I'm sure you have those relevant laws quoted in this presentation. If there are further information will help the committee to substantiate your position, please pass it through the suspended DG forward, or you can even send it directly to us. We will use it. So, suspended DG Muniru Gwazo will give you. Which? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have keenly gone through most of this at your page 9, where you have the ISA Act 2007 on the conditions or provisions for removal from office. And I've also cross-referenced that with the letter of suspension that was issued. And from both, I don't seem to find a correlation on this with the suspension. So, but what I want the SAN to, like my colleague actually said, tap more into your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge, is since we don't have any provisions for suspension
what we have here is removal. Now, what, in your own professional opinion, would amount, because I've gone through what the minister, the Honorable Minister, stated as reasons for the suspension. What, in your own opinion, should or could amount to a DG? I'm not talking about him now, but a DG of SEC being suspended, since we do not have that here stated. Thank you.
The honorable members would find attached as some of their annexures the letters of invitation that had been written to the DG by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the ICPC, and so on and so forth. That means those complaints had been taken to the relevant arena that will investigate them and bring a suggestion on them, charge him to court, a court finds him guilty, the Honorable Minister gets that verdict, writes a recommendation to Mr. President, the President writes to the Senate, my DG has been found guilty of this misconduct, and you were the ones that confirmed him. Please remove him. That's what the law envisaged.
Thanks. So what you're saying is where irrespective of if the the DG is being investigated or is meant to face a panel, he should still assume duties while the panel proceeds.
Distinguished honorable member, that is the law of Nigeria. Nobody out. Yes.
Hello, I beg to appeal that we hold every of our question so that we maximize the privilege of the time we have now. Please note your question. We'll come back to him if we need to.